High above the dark ocean water, a giant steel arm lowers toward a massive metal container. In the old days, a human driver sat 50 feet in the air, pulling heavy mechanical levers while battling rain, fatigue, and bitter winds. Today, no human sits in that high cabin. A quiet sensor scans the metal corner, sending a flash of laser light through the dark sky. The heavy crate lifts smoothly into the air without a single spoken command. For over half a century, global shipping moved through human hands and raw physical sight. Crane operators controlled massive machines, scanning cramped port yards from dirty glass windows. Every container was parked where an individual worker thought best, logged on clipboards or early computer screens. But as ocean cargo vessels grew longer than skyscraper buildings, human eyes and manual memory hit an absolute physical wall. A single wrong placement in a yard holding 40,000 containers caused catastrophic delay. If a target box ended up buried beneath 5 heavy steel crates, a crane had to move every top box first. These wasteful extra moves, known as rehandling, cost thousands of dollars every hour. Port yards became clogged, ships sat waiting at anchor, and global supply chains ground to a painful standstill. To solve this massive bottleneck, world shipping had to abandon human guesswork entirely. The modern port yard had to be reimagined not as an open parking lot, but as a giant living digital chessboard. Every single square foot of asphalt was mapped into precise mathematical coordinates. The age of manual yard management was coming to an end, replaced by total centralized control. The answer arrived in the form of the automated stacking crane. Running on thick steel rails mounted deep into reinforced concrete, these giant machines bridge wide blocks of container stacks. Unlike older rubber-tired cranes driven by workers, these rail-mounted robots move along predetermined paths with sub-inch accuracy. They travel back and forth day and night, never stopping for shift changes, fatigue, or bad weather. Advanced laser scanners and optical sensors cover every structural corner of these automated giants. As an automated stacking crane glides down its steel track, invisible light beams measure the exact distance to surrounding steel containers. The crane knows the precise height and position of every box beneath it within millimeters. A heavy mechanical spreader drops down, locking into the container corner castings with absolute mathematical certainty. Yet the heavy steel crane is only the mechanical muscle of the operation. Without a central brain, these giant machines would stand frozen on their steel tracks. That brain lives inside quiet server rooms miles away, running the terminal operating system, commonly known as the TOS software. This centralized software acts as the ultimate conductor, directing every moving part across the sprawling industrial port. The terminal operating system receives long-range data from shipping lines days before a vessel even arrives at the harbor. It tracks the exact weight, final destination, contents, and hazardous status of thousands of incoming containers. The software analyzes this massive wave of information to construct a dynamic, three-dimensional map of the entire yard long before the ship touches the concrete pier. When deciding where to place a fresh container, the terminal software calculates hundreds of mathematical variables in a fraction of a second. A container scheduled to leave by freight train in 2 hours is placed near the top of an outer stack. A container staying for 3 days goes deep into the lower center. By calculating optimal placement, the software slashes unnecessary container moves towards zero. This digital transformation took firm root during the early 1990s at the port of Rotterdam in the Netherlands. Rotterdam became the global pioneer in testing fully automated port logistics. While skeptics argued that computers could never handle the unpredictable reality of ocean shipping, the automated terminals in Rotterdam proved that software-driven precision dramatically outperformed traditional human labor. At a modern automated terminal, the harmony between hardware and software spans the entire waterfront. Unmanned ship-to-shore cranes unload metal boxes from giant ocean vessels onto driverless transport vehicles. These automated guided vehicles zip quietly along magnetic markers buried underneath the asphalt, transporting containers directly to the automated stacking cranes waiting in the block yard. If a freight train is delayed or a truck enters the wrong terminal gate, the terminal operating system adjusts instantly. The centralized software recalculates crane schedules in real time, shifting operational tasks between multiple automated stacking cranes. What once required frantic radio calls and shouting among dispatchers now happens in milliseconds through buried high-speed fiber optic networks. Beyond operational speed, the transition to centralized management transformed industrial safety across the waterfront. In traditional manual yards, heavy machinery moving near ground workers created dangerous blind spots and frequent fatal accidents. In an automated stacking yard, high physical safety fences surround the robotic zones. Human workers step into the crane grid only after key switches lock out power to the machines. Human expertise has not vanished entirely, but its daily role has shifted dramatically. Instead of sitting inside cold, shaking cabs high above the concrete, operators now work inside quiet, climate-controlled control centers. High-definition camera arrays stream real-time video feeds directly to multiple desktop monitors. A single human operator can monitor and assist up to 6 automated stacking cranes simultaneously. The software handles 99% of all standard lifts automatically. A human operator steps in only during delicate or unusual maneuvers, such as lowering a container onto a commercial truck bed driven by a human. With a gentle touch of a desktop joystick, the remote operator guides the final inches of movement before handing full control back to the central operating system. This software-driven control also changes how energy flows through the industrial port. Electric automated stacking cranes capture power through regenerative braking systems as heavy containers are lowered to the ground. The terminal operating system carefully manages power draw across the yard grid, preventing massive electrical surges and lowering total energy usage compared to traditional diesel fleets. When global ocean trade faces severe delays or sudden volume surges, automated terminals demonstrate their structural resilience. While traditional manual ports quickly become choked with container backlogs during crises, software-managed yards adjust stack heights and yard density dynamically. The terminal software maintains orderly logistical flows, keeping global goods moving through unexpected supply chain disruptions. Every single lift performed by an automated stacking crane feeds valuable operational data back into the central software. Algorithms track wear on mechanical gears, measure precise power consumption, and learn peak traffic patterns for landside truck gates. The software continually sharpens its predictive models, ensuring that tomorrow's stacking plan is even more efficient than today's execution. Converting a traditional manual terminal to fully automated operation requires massive capital investment and complete civil engineering overhauls. Heavy steel tracks must be anchored deep into stable soil. High-speed wireless networks must cover every yard foot, and software must integrate seamlessly with international customs databases. Ports that complete this transformation fundamentally redefine their economic position in global trade. Because the entire port relies on a central software brain, operational stability and network security become paramount. A simple network interruption or software glitch could freeze millions of tons of trade in seconds. Redundant computing servers, hardened fiber optic lines, and multi-layered cybersecurity systems ensure the terminal operating system stays active continuously, guarding against unexpected digital failures. Zooming in on the micro-level mechanical interactions, precision engineering shines at every joint. When the automated stacking crane lowers its spreader beam onto a container, steel guides slide into tiny corner slots. Optical sensors verify that all 4 twist locks have rotated and locked safely before the lift begins. The central software receives positive digital confirmation before granting motion authorization. Waterfront land along ocean shipping routes is extremely limited and exceptionally expensive. Automated stacking cranes allow ports to stack heavy containers 6 high and 9 wide with minimal gap space between adjacent rows. Manual cranes could never safely maneuver inside such tight clearances. Software-driven management multiplies the total storage capacity of existing port land without requiring artificial waterfront expansion. The reach of the central software extends far beyond the waterfront edge, reaching deep into landside trucking logistics. Outside the terminal security gates, commercial truck drivers schedule precise pickup appointments through an integrated web portal. As a truck arrives at the port gate, optical license plate readers identify the vehicle and alert the terminal operating system to retrieve the exact container. During quiet nighttime hours, while external trucks are absent from the gates, the automated stacking cranes continue working under software direction. The terminal operating system initiates predictive pre-staging maneuvers, shuffling containers scheduled for morning pickup to the very top of the yard stacks. When truck drivers arrive at dawn, their containers are waiting, reducing idle wait times to mere minutes. As ocean vessels continue to expand in scale and global trade demands accelerate, automated port terminals are becoming the global standard. The integration of automated stacking cranes and smart terminal software creates an unbroken bridge between ocean transport and inland logistics networks. Raw mechanical force and invisible software algorithms now move the modern world in quiet synchronization. Where dirty diesel exhaust and manual guesswork once governed ocean commerce, quiet silicon algorithms and electric steel cranes now hold sway. The modern port terminal operates not as a chaotic struggle against harbor friction, but as an elegant, continuous mathematical equation. Through centralized software management and robotic precision, global logistics moves forward, silently driving the heartbeat of world trade.